This is Major Stories. Good evening, I'm Michelle Thomas. The Health Ministry has confirmed that at least one person is being treated with an elevated temperature and will be isolated as per protocol. It notes that this is the first time symptoms in any person who's being monitored have been detected. The ministry says it will continue to closely monitor the individual and will keep the public updated. Aladdin Love tells us more.
A different narrative is emerging from the government about the extent of the coronavirus threat in Jamaica. Between January 23 and February 8, 116 persons arrived on the island who had been in China 14 days prior to their arrival. One person had mild symptoms and was immediately isolated. According to the Ministry of Health, the patient's symptoms have since improved. The coronavirus is stretching the island's capacity to quarantine individuals returning to Jamaica from China. One of the most recent quarantine facilities is the St. Joseph's Hospital in Vineyard Town, Kingston. On Monday, residents of Vineyard Town took to the streets to highlight their fury at the government's decision.
I understand that they are bringing people here that are our own, and I appreciate that. Right, and we have to help our own Jamaican, but in the way that they are doing it, I think it is wrong. I think they should take them. They have a lot of wasteland in Jamaica where they could have built, so where they could have looked after these people instead of to carry them here in the corporate area. We have a lot of schools. We have the Golden Age home over there. We have a lot of old people living over there.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has since advised that its members note the concerns of the residents over the designation of the hospital as a quarantine facility and will make themselves available to answer any questions or address any lingering concerns. Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Morris Guy, says quarantine facilities must be activated in Western Jamaica to keep Jamaicans safe from the coronavirus.
We are still expecting that a facility be established in the West. For many reasons. One, the cost to transfer them is one. Two, the exposure of our health workers who will have to be part of the team that will transfer a potentially infected person from Montego Bay, the hours of exposure into Kingston run a risk to those persons and potential family and by extension the entire island.
He also recommends the government reopens the treatment facility which was set up at the Cornwall Regional Hospital for the Ebola crisis, adding that it would be cheaper. The Health Ministry has since announced that it is engaged in ongoing efforts with partners to identify additional quarantine facilities and will advise the public of developments. Aladdin Love for CVM.
The political clock is ticking as the general election inches closer. Both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party are confident of a victory, tightening the bolts and screws on the campaign trail. Speaking at a JLP Area Council 2 meeting, Prime Minister Andrew Holness lashed out against individuals spreading propaganda while making his case as to why one good term deserves another. Robin Williams connects the dots in this report.
We don't need to spread fake news in this country. We don't need to trick the voters to vote for us. We don't need to be the purveyors of bad news and false news. Why? Because the Jamaica Labour Party, in its 4 years of administration, has so much good news to tell the people, we don't have space and time to tell them.
JLP cares for Jamaica.
A bold statement from the leader of the governing Jamaica Labour Party. Amid rising election temperatures, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is lashing out against persons he says continue to spread propaganda, while cautioning members of his own party not to indulge in social media squabbles. He says legal action will be taken against individuals who share fake news.
We know where they're coming from, and we know who are the people doing it. And as they put them out, we respond to them. And where they cross the line to be slanderous or liable, we will take legal action against those people.
The Jamaica Labour Party is being criticised by the opposition for calling a by-election in the southeast Clarendon constituency ahead of a general election. They say it is a waste of public resources and that the party will not be participating. But Holness says that it's all a part of the democratic process.
You have my assurance, and you know as your leader, that we will do everything in our powers to ensure that democracy is preserved.
Nomination is slated for Wednesday, February 12, and the by-election is scheduled for March 2. If only one candidate is nominated, that person would be declared the winner, and there will be no need for an election. Robianne Williams for CVM Live.
The Jamaica Teachers Association is giving the government 30 days to present a plan of action following reports of violence in schools and a teacher caught impersonating a police officer. According to the JTA president, this plan of action is needed to go forward. Khadija Thomas reports.
Educators are giving the government a month to formulate a plan, citing concerns about the safety and the security of teachers and students in the school environment. According to the JTA president Owen Speed, the increase in violence has an overwhelmingly negative effect on the education system.
Students are being attacked by their peers. Teachers are being attacked and threatened by both students and parents. Domestic violence is also impacting the system negatively. These dire situations are causing deleterious effect on the school system as teachers are afraid and traumatized.
Speed also sought to comment on an incident involving a teacher who was charged after he attempted to impersonate a police officer with an illegal firearm in his possession. Reports are that he visited the Elliston Road police station on February 6 and introduced himself as a sergeant of police but was unable to provide a police identification card and a firearm license. He was subsequently arrested, the firearm seized and his home searched.
The details are sketchy. We don't know enough details to be commenting on a matter that is in with the police. But as far as we know, we allow due process to take its place, and whatever is in law, and we allow the law to deal with it.
Speed is now calling for a review of minimum standards for all schools, along with increased security for students going to and from school. He says legal sanctions will be enforced for those who commit breaches on school premises, and compensation must be given for those injured while on the job.
We are calling on the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Education, and indeed the Acting Minister of Education, the Honorable Carl Samuda, to provide the Jamaica Teachers Association and the nation.
Citizens Association told CVM Live the Member of Parliament for the area, Fable Williams, as well as the Office of Utilities Regulation, have neglected the residents in their fight against the Jamaica Public Service Company. However, Fable Williams says this is not true. She says she has been involved in the battle between both parties. Aladdin Love reports.
Our minister and our MP is in charge of electricity. They have not taken this to Parliament, you know.
The president of the Hope Pasture Citizens Association, Michael Williams, refers to a long-standing dispute between the community and the Jamaica Public Service, JPS. The dispute was taken to court by the residents in 2016 in an attempt to prevent the utility company from installing overhead electricity cables. JPS says the underground system has become obsolete and would cost close to $41 million to upgrade at the expense of the residents. The Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Eastern, who is also Energy Minister Fable Williams, says she has been well aware of the issue.
I have been to numerous meetings with the former president, former president. We've had many meetings. I have gone ahead and invited the current CEO of JPS into meetings for the community to lay out the issue, for JPS to respond. I've spoken with the lawyer that is taking the case now.
She says if legal documentation states the utility company is responsible for maintaining the underground system at its expense, then she will be in agreement, adding that the residents did the right thing in taking the matter to court.
My preference as a citizen of this country would be for our electrical wires to be underground. I mean, we live in a hurricane belt. Putting things underground would seem to me to be enhancing the resilience of the distribution network.
She adds that removing the wires from overhead will be more aesthetically pleasing. However, this isn't something she can mandate of the utility company as it operates in a regulated environment. Williams notes if this is desired by the country because of issues with resilience, then it will have to be taken to cabinet. Nonetheless,